Welcome back to the Men Breakfast Show, and I hope that you enjoyed that Voice of the People segment. I always do. I mean, I'm so always happy to see different people giving their opinions on different subjects, and of course this was in relation to the tube strike. Now, as many of you will be aware, the tube strike has been apparently called off because the bosses have been able to find a positive resolution. So yay, because tube strikes that happened last year were absolutely horrible. It was a nightmare getting into the studio. Some of us were not even able to make it. I remember that one of us, actually my co-host at the time, was not even able to make the show, so I had to do it solo. But it's all good because those tube strikes have been called off, so no need to panic. And indeed, no need to panic because this weekend will definitely be an eventful one. And we, of course, always bring you quality guests. We always bring you guests of a very, very high caliber. And today is no exception. I am joined this morning by two beautiful and lovely ladies who are here to talk about an event that is going to uplift and empower you over the weekend. It is, of course, the event of Champions, where it says live your life bigger and better. And there are going to be over 9 really monumental speakers that are going to be in attendance. But we have one of the beautiful ladies herself who is here, who is a phenomenal author who has sold over 30 million copies of books worldwide, and her books have been on the New York Times bestseller list countless amounts of times. And she is, of course, Sharon Lechter, and she is joined, of course, by the lovely Camilita Nuttall. Good morning, both of you ladies. That was a mouthful.
And you did it beautifully. Thank you
so much. Good morning to both of you, of course. Now, of course, I'm going to start with you, Camilita. Yes. What exactly is the inspiration behind this event, and why is it important that viewers come out and support it?
Event of Champions is something that I put together, and I think it was because of inspiration from my mentor, Sharon Lecter.
Yes.
Because I experienced events that she did in the US, and I wanted to replicate that same thing in the UK, and just for her to be here to give people what I received in the US. And so I wanted to bring a group of very successful entrepreneurs, business owners together to share with my audience the benefits of starting the year correctly, starting the year right, making sure that the legal side of the business is looked after, the business side, the networking side, and me giving them the chance to hear my story and why and how they can achieve. And so I've put this event of champions together, and I call the champions not just the speakers, but the people that are going to be in attendance.
I love that. I absolutely love that, because once you call a thing, you give something a name, it actually becomes who you are, if you choose to, live up to that name. And of course, we can't have you here without mentioning the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That has been on my parents' bookshelf since I was a little kid, and I'm not telling you how old I am, but I've read it several times. And you, Sharon, have been, I guess, the brains, behind that whole movement, and 15 of that book and that series. Can you tell us a little bit more about your start, should we say?
Certainly. Well, thank you so much again for having us today. I started my career as an accountant.
Okay.
And at the ripe old age of 26, when you know everything, I said, if I want to work this hard, I should work that hard for myself, right? So at that point, I started a woman's magazine, kids' books that have the sound strips down the side. Okay. I started that industry.
Wow.
And built that around the globe. And then when we moved to Arizona, our oldest son went off to college and got into credit card debt back in 1992. And so that's really when I dedicated the rest of my career to financial literacy. Fast forward a few years, I wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and that started a 10-year partnership where I did 15 books together, and certainly it was the right message at the right time. People just told everyone else about it. I don't think we should take credit for that success, but it became, I think, 108 countries, 51 languages, 30 million books sold. Yes. So it was definitely the empowerment of taking control of your own life. Each and every one of us are the CEOs of our own life, and we have to take action. And we wanted to provide information that would help people truly become masters of their money, not slaves to their money. And so that was incredible. When we finished, when I made the decision to leave Rich Dad, I was asked by Napoleon Hill Foundation. Napoleon Hill wrote the grand master of all, Think and Grow Rich, and he passed away. But when the economy went down in 07, 08, they asked me to step in and help rebuild that brand. And so we've got 3 books that I've done with them.
Of course.
But we look at what's happening in the market right now, today, yesterday, this morning's Financial Times.
You took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah.
You're reading my brain here.
It's a scary, scary time.
It is, definitely.
It's repeating. And so now more than ever, come join us this weekend, because it's so important to take control of your own financial life and get to the point where you're not dependent on the markets up and down, that you have built a business or you've created a foundation of real estate investments. We're going to be talking about all of that so we can get rid of the drama and trauma of riding the markets, but build your own successful platform.
Of course. Now, as I mentioned that you were reading my mind, this morning we went through the headlines of every single newspaper, as we do weekly, and as you rightfully mentioned, it says on the front page of the Daily Express, it says pensions chaos as the shares collapse. It says the FTSE slump has put retirement funds at risk, and that millions of workers saw their pension pots plunge in value yesterday as £52 million was wiped off of shares. What advice would you give to young people, should I say, that would like to plan for their future, to perhaps, hopefully, avoid, a repetition of this sort of pension chaos?
Well, it has never been easier to start a business. It has never been easier to compete with big businesses. So my recommendation to young people is, don't quit your day job, all right? But go ahead and think about how you can build something and start a business on the side. The most successful businesses solve a problem or serve a need. And there's a lot of problems and there's a lot of needs in society. And so find where your passion is, what makes you mad. Sometimes the passion comes from that, like it did for me. I was mad that we weren't teaching our kids about money in school, so that's where my passion comes from. But then allow yourself to find the right team, the right advisors, the right people to support you, and you'll be able to start getting build a very big asset. I think the sexiest word on live is asset. And we build our own assets, and then we can provide for ourselves.
I think that is phenomenal. Now, your pairing is I think that is just so extraordinary. Can you tell me a little bit about how you actually met Sharon?
Well, you really want to
Camilita, how did you meet Sharon? And what did you gain from your first meeting that solidified the thought that this woman is the one I want to mentor me?
Okay, I'm a person of faith, so I pray. That's my choice. And I was asking God for the right mentor, because I wanted somebody who has done it.
Yes.
A lot of people say, I'd love to mentor you, but they haven't done it. They say they have done it, but they haven't done it. And I wanted somebody who's been through the mill, who has the success, who understands and can teach me and guide me to do, or I should say, what not to do.
Yes.
And what to do in business. And so I had the awesome privilege of listening to her on a conference call.
Okay.
And I thought, oh my God, I want to talk to this woman. She's right up my street.
Yeah.
She was so clear and so calm and so collective, and I thought, this is so not Camilita. But then I reached out to her and I said, I wanted you to mentor me to become a best-selling author. Because who else would you go to someone who sold 30 million books to teach you to become a best-selling author? And so I arranged a call with her. I think it was on her birthday. I remember that. And we spoke briefly. She didn't mention anything about anything else. We just talked about me getting with her. And then a few days later, I heard Dr. J.B. Hale, which is Napoleon Hill's grandson, quoting, and he was doing an address. And then he said, I want to talk to you about 2 people being recognized outside of this company we were affiliated with. And then he mentioned my name in front of 20,000 people.
Oh, wow.
And he said, Sharon Lecter mentioned me in Think and Grow Rich for Women. I thought,
wow.
Hold on. I spoke to this woman 2 days. Why did she tell me? She mentioned me in that book.
That's amazing.
And that was for me like the turning point in my life. And then I asked her, well, why did you mention me in the book. Why didn't you tell me? She says, I just did. But then when I spent some time with her, she then said, because I was looking for someone who was positive and putting positive information out there, and you were, and I found your quote, and I decided to put that in the book. And that was a turning point in my life. But then I said, I want to get with you, because I don't want to work for you. I want to work with you.
I love that.
I said, I want to know how you, who is Sharon Lecter? What have you done? What have you achieved? Because I hear it, but I want to see it. I want to experience it myself. And so she invited me over to Arizona. She had an event, and I was there with a couple other people, and then we had the awesome privilege of being at her house.
Oh wow!
And that opportunity really transformed my life, and being based on just being with her, experiencing time with her. And then she said, "Well, we're going to our private ranch. You can come if you like." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm ready to go."
Of course.
And I spent time with her at her private ranch with her husband and my husband. That was when I made the decision: this woman is going to be my mentor, because she was so graceful, so humble. She's a real deal. What you see is what you get with her.
That.
She's not one person on stage and one person at her house. She's the same everywhere. And I said, Sharon, I'd like you to mentor me to do what you've done, to create what you've created in your life. And just let me know when, where, how, and let's get to work.
I absolutely love that. And I'm sure our viewers at home are thinking to themselves, I would love to be able to get in touch with a phenomenal woman such as Sharon Lechter. Well, the phone lines are open for you to do so, for you to put forward any type of question that you would like to put forward to her. The number to call is on your screens, just right there. It's 0208-808-0693. Again, 0208-808-0693. And we, of course, are talking about the upcoming event as well this weekend. But before we get to that, it says Think and Grow Rich for Women. Why was it significant that it was specifically for women?
I love that. And that's actually the first question in the book. Saying, why a book just for women?
Yeah. Why is it for us?
Well, for many years, I actually resisted that, because I grew up, I started my business when there weren't very many women in business, and so you had to kind of like buck up and put on your big girl pants and compete with the boys. But I really, over time, I've learned that even though the steps to success are the same for men and women, we approach them quite differently. And the original Think and Grow Rich was released in 1937.
Oh, wow.
So there were no women in the book. It was really talking about the principles, and it was all about success equals money. And I felt, many women in business today, they really are more impacted by the significance that they leave, the impact. And so I wanted to look at the same steps of success, so it really honors Napoleon Hill's original work. But each step I look at through the eyes of successful women. And then we have a section where I share how I've used that principle in my career. And then the most important woman is the one holding the book. And so I say, how have you used this principle in your life already to achieve success? And what can you do today, tomorrow, next week, to further use that to really speed yourself to the success that you deserve? Every one of us deserves to be successful. The door is there. We've got gifts from God that are waiting for us, and sometimes we just ignore them. We don't take hold and make our lives what it could be. And so that's this whole concept of the event of champions. Is you are the champions. The people coming to the event are the champions. And many of us need somebody to kind of kick us, where, or open that door of opportunity to say, this is your destiny.
Exactly.
Take action.
Exactly. And I do believe that we all do need someone to push us forward and to be that, should I say, that coach that gives you that kick on the butt when you need it. I was having a conversation with one of my mentors yesterday, and I was engaging in a pity party. I was like, I was having this whole woe is me moment, and it's not fair.
We all have
blah, 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 blah. And he went to me, he's like, look, life is not fair. Suck it up and be a big girl and move on. Because at the end of the day, no one cares how you feel. No one cares that you're tired. No one cares about how you're feeling on the inside. All people respect is success. And you being in the mental state to achieve that success is what is the most important thing. you know, that's going to leave a lasting legacy.
And Napoleon Hill himself said, out of every adversity, every setback comes a seed of an equal or greater benefit. And many times it takes us a while to figure out what that benefit is because of the pity parties. We've all done it. We've all had it. And so it's important for us to say, okay, now I need to learn the lesson. There are no failures. They're just learning opportunities. And so what was the lesson, and how can I use this to speed my success into the future?
Yes. And I always say, you know, myself, you know, cry. Bawl, roll, do whatever you need to do. When you're done, get to work. Yeah, because you still gotta get to work.
Exactly. That's what he said. He's like, you know, no one cares. Suck it up. Just suck it up. Get to work. Yeah, you have to. I absolutely love that, and I love the fact that you are both so successful, but yet approachable. You know, I find that many women can't really master that art. Why is that? Why do you feel that is?
Well, my father always told me that, you know, we all put our pants on the same way. You know, we all dress the same way. And every night he would say to me, have you added value to someone's life today? And so I think it's, you know, money, when you become successful, money just brings out more of who you really are.
True.
And sometimes that's good, and sometimes it's not. But, you know, we are here. I mean, I believe God's a God of abundance, not about a God of scarcity. And so too much we receive, much is expected, right?
Of course.
And so it's giving back. And we always, you know, I always receive much more than I give. But it's the importance of reaching out and touching someone's life. And so my dad asked that, and I still ask myself that every night, have I added value to someone's life today?
And for you?
Yeah, for me, again, because I grew up in Trinidad in the Caribbean.
Yay! Let's touch each other! Yay! Trini girls!
So I grew up very poor. So I knew of my circumstance, my surroundings, as it were. And I hated being poor. But I also respected the people that were poor, why they were poor.
Yes.
But that whole thing, I said to God, growing up, keep me humble.
Yeah.
Despite where I go, whatever happens to me, let me always remember to keep myself humble.
Of course.
Because pride goeth before
a fall.
And so I always wanted to be humble. I wanted to be myself. And I've asked God that question, that all through my life. So as Sharon said, having more money just magnifies who I am.
Exactly.
And I always wanted to keep and just be humble. Again, I want to always remember where I've come from. You know, in my bio, I usually, but in my talks and my seminars, I always say to people, I want to always remember where I have come from.
I love that.
I never want to forget my upbringing. I never want to forget, you know, the struggles that I had. And I never want to forget that there are other people going through those same struggles.
Exactly.
And not to get too big where I'm thinking that I'm better than them, because we're not. As Sharon says, we all put our pants on the same way.
Exactly.
You know, so I just wanted to keep that humility, and I asked God to keep me in that place.
And I love that. We have a caller on the line. Good morning, Musa. Hello.
From the ladies, which one is more which one is better? Is it to be successful or to be rich? And how does somebody get a ticket for the event?
Okay, I'm so sorry, Musa. I think we've patched you in like midway through your question. Can you kindly repeat it from the beginning, please?
Okay, which one is better? Is it to be successful or to be rich?
And that is directed to both of the ladies, or?
Yes, sure.
Yeah. Okay, I'll start with you, Camilita. Yes.
I think it is to be successful, because you need to be successful in order to be rich. Success doesn't equate money. Success for me equates the impact that I have on other people's lives. How many lives that I'm reaching, how many lives that I'm touching on a daily basis. For me, that's being successful. It's not about the money. For me, it's never about the money. It's about changing people's lives and giving people that dream, that they know that what they need to build and to grow. So I believe in order for you to be rich, you need to be successful first. And in all areas of your life, not just where money is concerned.
I love that. And Sharon?
My definition of success is it's not impact on the amount of money in your bank account. It's how you feel about yourself when you look in the mirror. And so if you can be successful and not rich. You can be rich and not be successful. And you can be successful or rich and not be happy. And so it's how do you feel about yourself when you look in the mirror? And that's true success. And along with it, when you feel good about yourself and you are successful because you feel good about yourself, the riches will come.
I absolutely love that. Now, just going a bit back to, what you were talking about, you mentioned that your parents are from Trinidad and Tobago. And as our viewers know, I'm always picking up Trinidad because I'm a Trinidad girl, I'm born in Brooklyn, but my parents are from Trinidad. My dad's from Trinidad and my mom's from Tobago.
Nice.
So I'm Trin-Begonian, as we say, And I know that growing up in Trinidad and Tobago, it's not necessarily always the easiest of societies to grow up in, for a number of reasons. And I'd like to ask you both, was there a turning point in your life where you decided, okay, I want better for myself? And how did you go about getting better? I'll start with Sharon, because I started with you last time.
Well, I mentioned that I went into entrepreneurship at 26, and the reason I did that was I had an offer to go in with a client of mine, and I remember the yellow legal pad, pros and cons, right? And I could argue both sides. It didn't help me at all. But my hand took over and kind of wrote across the top of the page, why not? And that's been a philosophy my entire life. I still ask myself, why not? Why not take that road less traveled? Why not do what other people are not doing? If you can always follow the crowd.
True.
But that's not where success is going to be found. It's when you decide, I'm going to do this because I believe it's important, it needs to be done, and it's necessary. And so when you're looking at divining what your future is, think about the road less traveled and ask yourself, why not? Why not me?
Exactly.
Why not you? Why not you to create a life of destiny?
I love that.
That's waiting for you.
I absolutely love that. And I think especially, as you've both mentioned, I think faith really does play a very, very, very important role. I know that personally, I wouldn't be here without faith, without the grace of God, really, because it's really kept me really focused. And I'm sure it's done the same with you. I mean, what was that turning point for you?
For me, it was at the age of 13. My father said to my mother, we no longer have money. I'm the last of 11 children, so apparently money ran out when it got to me.
Okay. As it does, as it does.
And I said to my mother, we will find a way. My mother said, we will. And so at the age of 13, I went on the public dump with my mother, hustling through the rubbish. Just to get glass bottles to sell so I can attend secondary school. For me, I had no shame. I didn't know what shame was. All I knew, I wanted to win. And so whatever I had to do at that point, let's do it. Once it was legal and it was moral, let's do it. And so my mother and I, we did it for 2 months. I came out, I got my books. I did very well in school. Struggled through school, but I did very well in the end. And for me, it was always look at television. I looked at Dallas and Dynasty. You're too young to remember that.
I watch old reruns. I watch reruns.
And I looked at Sharon Lecter and all the jewelry, and I wanted that. What was different? Why were they different? Why did they have the money, and why couldn't? As Sharon says, they had 2 legs, 2 arms. They put. So what was the difference? And my mother said, the difference was you need to want it bad enough, and you're willing to work for it, but also being with the right people, having the right people around you to fuel that dream. And so the turning point was that at the age of 13, I was not going to give up on my life. I was not going to give up. Then I had another turning point years after that when I met someone, and that person contracted cancer, and she was dying, and she said, "Don't live like me, Camilita. Because I've just got a couple of years, couple of months. Don't live like me. Live all of your life and do it now." And when I met her in Mexico, when I came back from Mexico, she died. And at that point, I said, I will never live someone else's dream, and I will never live beneath my level. I will always live the way I should live, or what God has designed. And so that's the reason why For now, I'm excited about the event of champions.
Yes.
Because I want to give people that opportunity to live their dream.
I love that.
Live their destiny, regardless of what's going on in your life. There's this, listen, at the end of the day, nobody cares. Remember, cry, ball, roll. When you're done, get to work. So the event of champions for me meant so much, and that's why I'm inviting all of you to come along this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, the Millennium Gloucester Hotel with Mama Lecter, as I call her, right, gonna be with us, and Daddy Lecter, gonna be with us at the event of champions. We want to teach you how to live like a champion, regardless of what's going on in your life. If I can do it from Trinidad on the dump, you can do anything.
I absolutely love that. And I believe we have another caller on the line. Good morning, Dr. Mike.
Good morning, my great presenter.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I see that you've managed to get back through the phone line, so I'm really excited about that. What would you like to say to either Sharon or Camilita as they're here this morning?
The wonderful thing about the guest you have there is that I'm just wondering. I don't know if you can get 15 more of such human beings existing in this world.
He wants me to clone you both. Yeah.
These human beings living in United Kingdom, then we will have a wonderful nation.
I believe so. I second that wholeheartedly.
We want you to come join us this weekend so we get to know you better, please.
Please, you have inspired millions of people this morning. You might not really know. You have inspired millions of people this very morning on your program.
Thank you very much.
But we want to see
I
you.
think people want to be like you.
Thank you.
Go to eventofchampions.com. That's eventofchampions.com. You're a champion. We want to see you there on Saturday.
That's what a wonderful compliment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mike. He is, a regular viewer, but he is also a social commentator, and he's a doctor as well. And he is very, very committed to impacting today's society. So I'm sure he will definitely be at the event. He will definitely be there.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing him in person.
Of course. And the event is over 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, 23rd and 24th, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 23rd and 24th. Yes. And where will it be, please?
Right, so it's going to be at the Millennium Gloucester Hotel in Kensington. It's just outside Gloucester Road Tube Station, very central, so you don't have to walk far or drive far. And it's going to be on for 2 days, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday 9 a.m. to 5, Sunday 9 a.m. to 4. But you want to come along because it's not just Sharon and myself. You're going to meet some amazing speakers. You're going to hear from the stories, how they've done what they've done, from business to law to finance. You're going to get a chance to also be a VIP. If you have a VIP ticket, you can get a chance to meet Sharon and spend 2 hours with her and all the other speakers if you decide to come as a VIP. And what great opportunity. And as a VIP, you get a signed copy of Sharon husband Michael's what is this book again that we're getting?
Other People's Money.
Do you want to know how to use other people's money? Yeah, you not your own. You need to be there because as a VIP, you get other people's money absolutely free, and you also have a chance to buy all the books as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing you. Just come. We're gonna have an amazing time. Come, you're a champion.
I absolutely love that. And last but not least, as we round up now, how can people follow you both on social media or your various websites, please?
Well, it's quite easy. I'm Sharon Lecter everywhere. Sharon Lecter on Facebook, Sharon Lecter on LinkedIn, Sharon Lecter on Twitter, SHARON, and the last name is LECHTER. And I just want to add, I have a personal success equation that's in the first book I did with the Napoleon Hill Foundation called 3 Feet from Gold. And it's combining your passion and your talent, multiplying it by association. It's in this book right here. So who's on your team? Who's advising you? Surround yourself with people that want you to be successful. So passion plus talent times association times action. Come join us this weekend. Our goal is to support you in achieving the success you deserve. And the plus at the end is F for faith. You mentioned it earlier.
Yes.
Faith. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in what you're doing, that it's needed and necessary.
Amazing. And Camilita, yes, your websites.
my website. Everything, again, like Sharon, is CamilitaNuttall.com. Camilita Nuttall, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, Pinterest, Skype, YouTube, you name it, it's Camilita Nuttall.
Everything. I love that. Thank you both so much. I've had a phenomenal time. You know, you've really impacted my life in such a short space of time, and you've really inspired so many viewers. So thank you both so much from the bottom of my heart. I do truly mean that. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. So viewers, I hope that you were as inspired as I was by these two phenomenal women. Do endeavor to come down to this phenomenal seminar that's going to be held on the 23rd and the 24th. Of course, to find out more information, you can follow these both ladies on their social media handles, and of course log on to the website for more information. We're going to go for a quick break, but after the break I will be joined by some very special guests and making a great announcement. So don't go anywhere. It is still the show.